The Virginian Pilot. This is an important newspaper in Virginia. I want to read you something about Tim Kaine that you don't know about. Unless you've lived in Virginia and you've really focused on this, I didn't know about this. But they try and paint a picture of this guy like he's just a swell guy. He's kind of boring. He's moderate. He's a left-wing kook. He's a massive tax increaser. He's awful. Absolutely awful. He has a 0 rating from Conservative Review. Here we go. The author writes, I hate to be the one to rain or even sprinkle all over the Merry Tim Kaine parade, but someone has to. It's time to shake off the he's so much nicer than Hillary and he speaks Spanish euphoria to ask Kaine to explain his conduct during his final days as Virginia's governor. Do tell. The issue concerns a convicted murderer serving life in prison and Kaine's last-minute move to quietly spring him. We're going to talk about Jens Soering, Jens-S-O-E-R-I-N-G, Jens Soering today. Members of the National Press Corps ought to be asking Kaine about the Soering matter every day, at least until the Veep hopeful from Virginia comes up with a sensible explanation for why he tried to set this man free. I emailed Kaine's Senate spokeswoman, he writes, asking for one. No word. Granted, she's probably pretty busy. In case you weren't living in Virginia in 1985 when a grisly double murder in Bedford County sickened most normal people, here are a few of the facts. Derek Haysom, 72, and Nancy Haysom, 53, husband and wife, were stabbed to death in their Boonesboro home in March. According to a 20-year retrospective on the crime in the Roanoke Times, both were knifed repeatedly. Derek Haysom was nearly beheaded. His wife's throat was slit. At the time of the killing, Soering, a student at the University of Virginia, was dating another student, the Haysom's daughter, Elizabeth. The Haysoms reportedly disapproved of that relationship, with good reason, as it turned out. Law enforcement spent considerable time investigating the crime before turning their attention to the daughter and her boyfriend. Shortly after they were questioned, the duo fled the country. They hopscotched around the globe, surfacing in England in May 1986, where they were arrested on check fraud charges. Elizabeth Haysom, the daughter, was quickly sent back to the United States, where she pleaded guilty to being an accessory. She was sentenced to 90 years. Soering fought extradition and was delivered to Virginia only after authorities agreed to reduce capital murder charges, which carried the death penalty, to first degree. Soering recanted earlier confessions and began to blame his girlfriend. He said he initially confessed because he believed his father's status as a diplomat would give him diplomatic immunity. Soering was convicted and sentenced to 2 life terms in 1990. He's incarcerated in the Brunswick Correctional Center in Lawrenceville, Virginia. Now here we go. One of Tim Kaine's final acts as governor was to ask the U.S. Department of Justice to transfer Soering to a German prison. There he would serve about 2 years before being eligible for release. Had this 11th hour chicanery been successful, Soering, a man who butchered 2 Americans and was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison, would be a free man. He would have been a free man years ago. Dancing in trendy Munich clubs, guzzling German beer. Immediately after taking office, Governor Bob McDonnell asked the Justice Department to halt the transfer. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder blocked the move. Now, what of Tim Kaine? Kaine has, on occasion, been asked about the Soering matter. His explanations have been unsatisfactory. For instance, at a Richmond debate during his Senate campaign against my good friend, Mr. Allen, Kaine said he wanted to return Soering to Germany because he believed the convict would have been banned from re-entering the country. That makes no sense. It doesn't matter. Kaine said if a foreigner commits a crime in the U.S., we should kick him out as soon as we can safely do it. In an interview with the Associated Press, Kaine said his decision was a desire to save money. He's not a sympathetic character. That's true, Kaine said of Soering. I would never give him clemency. I did feel like Virginians had paid for his incarceration for a very long time. Let the Germans pay to keep this guy. Another stupid answer. The public deserves a better explanation for such an appalling lapse in judgment. We're still waiting. So the question on the table for the media, why did Tim Kaine try to release a double murder, a horrific murder, to send him to Germany, where he would likely be freed in 2 years. Why did Tim Kaine do that?